Hello, my name is Jacqueline Arzate and I'm a student at Cal State Dominguez Hills. In this video, I will be discussing about a case study I conducted this semester in the HUS 460 class on alcohol consumption and GPA. Here is a general background on this topic. Research shows that more than 80% of college students drink alcohol. Additionally, about 1/4 of college students report having academic consequences because of their drinking, including missing class, falling behind, doing poorly on exams or papers, and receiving lower grades overall. Moreover, rates of alcohol consumption dramatically increase during the teenage years, and alcohol is by far the most widely used intoxicant among adolescents ahead of nicotine and marijuana. Research suggests that anyone who exhibits an early onset of drinking or alcohol problems prior to college will be at great risk for problems in college. Research also suggests abusive and underage college drinking are significant public health problems, and they exact an enormous toll on the intellectual and social lives of students on campuses across the U.S. The prevalence rate data shows that about 1 in 4 college students report academic consequences from drinking, including missing class, falling behind in class, doing poorly on exams or papers, and receiving lower grades overall. According to a national survey, almost 54% of college students are ages 18 to 22 drank alcohol in the past month. One and more than 1 out of 3 of them engaged in binge drinking during the same time frame. In a national survey of college students, binge drinkers who consume alcohol at least 3 times per week were roughly 6 times more likely than those who drank but never binged to perform poorly on a test or project as a result of drinking, and 5 times more likely to have missed a class. These are the research methods I used to conduct my case study. I used the Pearson correlation test to determine if there was a relationship between alcohol consumption and grade point average. The survey question I used to measure alcohol consumption was, on average, how many alcoholic beverages do you have in a week? In our class survey, the average alcoholic beverages consumed were 4.7. The type of measurement used here is a ratio level variable because there is an absolute zero for the response. The survey question used to measure grade point average was, what is your overall GPA at Cal State Dominguez Hills? The average GPA for the HUS 460 class was 3.3. I also used the ratio level variable in this measurement because there is an absolute zero for the response as well. This demographic table shows the limitations on this case study. There were several limitations on this case study as outlined in this table. One of the limitations was that this survey only had 22 students. Another limitation was the gender gap, where there are 20 female students in the classroom and only 2 male students in the class. Additionally, there is a race limitation where there are only 3 categories: African American, which made up 22.7% of the population, the Latino Hispanic made up 72.7%, and the mixed population made up 4.5%. Age was also a limiting factor because the majority of the students surveyed are in the 20 to 30 range population. Results of this study indicate that there is no significant correlation between alcohol consumption and GPA. Based on the Pearson correlation test, it states that R equals negative 0.084, which shows that there isn't a strong correlation between the independent variable and the dependent variable. This scatter plot indicates that there isn't a correlation between alcohol consumption and GPA. For example, a student reporting to have 0 alcoholic beverages during the week reported to have a 3.2 GPA, and another student who reported to have 14 alcoholic beverages during the week reported to have a 3.8 GPA. Based on this information, there isn't a strong correlation on alcohol consumption and GPA. This bar graph shows the dependent results, which is GPA, and this pie chart shows the independent results, which is alcohol consumption. Interpreting data. Based on the results shown from the Pearson correlation test, there was a sample of 22 respondents for alcohol consumption and 22 respondents for grade point average. The Pearson correlation test revealed there was a non-significant correlation between independent variable, which is alcohol consumption, and dependent variable, which is grade point average. R equals negative 0.84, degrees of freedom n minus 1 equals 21, P is greater than 0.5. As alcohol consumption among college students increases, the grade point average has no significant change. In discussion, my current research reinforces past research case studies, which is that there is a non-significant relationship between alcohol use and GPA. My current survey results are the same as past research studies because the survey I conducted has the same gaps as past research. For example, the small sample size of our class was very small in a non-traditional college as well as previous case studies. The results show that there isn't an implication in the study. The correlation between alcohol consumption and GPA was extremely low. A few reasons as to why there isn't an implication in the study is because the students may not have been completely honest with their responses. Alcohol consumption may not affect the college students' academic performance because they may have a higher tolerance in alcohol. The strengths of the case study is the fact that the survey was confidential and no one's name was disclosed. The study was an online survey where it made the case study cost efficient since there weren't copies that were needed to be printed. A major limitation in the study is the number of participants that participated in the study. Future studies on this topic would benefit from doing the research across many campuses. Another limitation to the study is that there is an unequal distribution in the gender, race, and age categories. There were far more females than there were males in the study, and there were far more Latino and Hispanics than there were African Americans. Another limitation was the accuracy of the GPA. The GPA the students calculated was an estimated number. In conclusion, the results of my study indicate that the correlation between alcohol use and grade point average are not significant. My study's findings are similar to previous case studies, which show that there is no significant correlation between alcohol consumption and GPA. The results of no significant correlation between alcohol use and GPA won't be beneficial for guiding policy programs or interventions. I believe that future research will be beneficial with having a larger population as well as a more diverse population. When interpreting the results, it must be noted that there was a small class sample involved, therefore the results were not strong enough in order to find a correlation between the two variables.